Public Meetings Act. :4-6 at set. Annual notice has been forwarded to the New Jersey Herald and the Daily Record. It was posted on the bulletin board maintained in a municipal building for public announcements. Can I have a roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Here.
Mr. Falcone.
Present.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic.
Present.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mayor Galati.
Here. If you will stand and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. So we have a few proclamations this evening. Amen. Our first one that we're going to do is for our Eagle Scout, Patrick Hummerford. I think he grew since last time. So Patrick has received the highest rank possible in scouting, which is the Eagle Scout Award. So his proclamation reads, whereas the strength and the spirit of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Patrick Hummerford, a member of Troop 88, Hopatcong, New Jersey, Patriots Council, Boy Scouts of America, officially earned his rank as Eagle Scout on December 30th, 2024, which is the highest achievement attainable in Boy Scouts. And whereas for his service project, Patrick chose to design and construct a new 8-foot by 12-foot wooden storage shed from scratch for the Hopatcong Youth Street Hockey Program. This project allows for safe, dry storage of the hockey nets and equipment throughout the year. Thanks to Patrick's hard work, the nets and equipment are available for use by 18 to 120 street hockey youths from Hopatcong and many surrounding towns, along with ensuing continuation of this popular program. And whereas Patrick has proven through hard work and perseverance that he is a skilled leader capable of reaching out to his community in a meaningful way. His project was an act of kindness for people in need that sets him apart from the ordinary and inspires all of us. It is with great admiration that I congratulate and recognize Patrick Hummerford's accomplishments. Now, therefore, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, hereby proclaim March 21st, 2025 as Patrick Hummerford Day in the Borough of Hopatcong. I want to extend my sincere thanks to Hopatcong Cub Scout Pack 88 for the invitation to their blue and gold ceremony. It's an honor to celebrate this special occasion with such a dedicated and hardworking group of young scouts. As the mayor, it is very kind of you to allow me to celebrate in your success. A special congratulations to the Arrow of Light Scouts, Matthew, Emmett, Vincent, Brandon, Aldo, Declan, Jackson, and David, on earning the Arrow of Light, the highest award in Cub Scouting. Each of these scouts has demonstrated commitment and perseverance in achieving this honor with accomplishments ranging from Messengers of Peace, the Whittling Chick, and the National Summertime Award, to progressing through the ranks of Tiger, Wolf, Bear, and Webelos. These achievements represent a journey of growth, learning, and leadership that will serve them well into the future. It is truly inspiring to see young scouts stay on this path, working towards becoming Boy Scouts and ultimately Eagle Scouts. On behalf of myself and the Hopatcong Council and our entire town, I want to say how proud we are of these scouts. We look forward to seeing them continue their journey and make a positive impact on their community. Congratulations again. So the first proclamation is for Matthew. So you're gonna stand up here, Matthew.
It's like, I'm up here.
I'm going to read the first proclamation in its entirety, and most of the proclamations are exactly the same, so we'll just get through the beginning on the rest of them. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens, and whereas Matthew DeLuca Ament, a member of Cub Scout Pack 88, had joined as a Lion in 2019, has earned the highest award in Cub Scouting, the Arrow of Light Award. by completing all the requirements outlined by the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas Matthew is an outstanding young man who has been very active in his den, meeting every challenge through hard work and determination. He has earned numerous merit badges, including the Conservation Good Turn Award in 2021 as a Tiger, Messenger of Peace in 2020, Whittling Chip in 2023. He also earned his National Summertime Awards as a Lion in 2020, as a Tiger in 2021, Wolf in 2022, and as Weeblos in 2023. Demonstrating his knowledge in a variety of subjects, he has also been an attendee at Boy Scout troop meetings and Boy Scout-oriented outdoor activities, enjoying exciting adventures in the world of nature and developing the skills necessary to become a good steward of the environment. And whereas Matthew has grown in knowledge, skills, and confidence, building a strong foundation for future accomplishments, his sense of community involvement and concern for others sets him apart from the ordinary and inspires all of us. It is with great joy that I congratulate Matthew and wish him much success throughout his Boy Scout journey. In witness hereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, do hereby proclaim March 22nd, 2025 as Matthew DeLuca Amente. Slide down a little bit so that they can eventually do the group shot for you, okay? Our next one is Emmett. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens, and whereas Emmett Higgins, a member of Cub Scout Pack 88, had joined as a Wolf in 2021 and has earned the highest award in Cub Scouting, the Arrow of Light Award, by completing all the requirements outlined by the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas Emmett is an outstanding young man who has been very active in his den, meeting every challenge through hard work and determination. He's earned numerous merit badges, including his Whittling Chip in 2023, and his National Summertime Award as Bear in 2022, and as a Bear in 2023, demonstrating his knowledge in a variety of subjects. He has also been an attendee at Boy Scout troop meetings and Boy Scout-oriented outdoor activities, enjoying exciting adventures in the world of nature and developing skills necessary to become a good steward of the environment. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, do hereby proclaim March 23rd, 2025 as Emmett Higgins Day. Vincent? He's not here. Okay. I'll give it to him now. Brandon?
Not here. Nope, not here. He's in my class though.
Aldo?
Not here, but he's also in your class.
Declan? There we go, Declan. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens, and whereas Declan Patterson, a member of Cub Scout Pack 88, had joined as a Lion in 2019 and has earned the highest award in Cub Scouting, the Arrow of Light Award, by completing all the requirements outlined by the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas Declan is an outstanding young man who has been very active in his den, meeting every challenge through hard work and determination. He has earned numerous merit badges, including the Recruiter Strip in 2021, Messengers of Peace in 2021, and his Whittling Chip in 2023. He also earned his National Summertime Award as a Lion in 2020, as a Tiger in 2021, Wolf in 2022, and as a Weeblos in 2023. Demonstrating his knowledge in a variety of subjects, he has also been an attendee at Boy Scout troop meetings and Boy Scout-oriented outdoor activities, enjoying exciting adventures in the world of nature and developing skills necessary to become a good steward of the environment. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, the Mayor of Borough of Hopatcong, do hereby proclaim March 27th, 2025 as Declan Patterson Day. Jackson?
Not here. And that would be
David? Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas David Yosef, a member of Cub Scout Pack 88, joined as a Lion in 2019 and has earned the highest award in Cub Scouting, the Arrow of Light Award, by completing all the requirements outlined by the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas David is an outstanding young man who has been very active in his den, meeting every challenge through hard work and determination. He has earned numerous badges, including his Messengers of Peace in 2020, his Whittling Chip in 2023. He also earned his National Summertime Awards as a Lion in 2020 and as a Tiger in 2021, demonstrating his knowledge in a variety of subjects. He has also been an attendee at Boy Scout troop meetings and Boy Scout-oriented outdoor activities, enjoying exciting adventures in the world of nature and developing skills necessary to become a good steward of the environment. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of Hopatcon, do hereby proclaim March 29th, 2025 as David Youssef Day. We're a picture for everybody.
I'll give it, I will give Vin.
Okay, you don't have to give it to your-
He's no longer technically going.
Oh, because you're-
Yes, Vinny is the one.
He's on it. He's on it. I love it.
Sound like you're-
Leader, right? You sound like on it.
I'm the first person in troop.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
in Cub Scouts.
All right, everybody look that way for a picture.
I'm not seeing it. That's not.
Just like a leader.
It's done.
No, it's not. It's cheating. I don't want to photobomb them.
Good.
It looks like you're peeking, like you're. like-
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
When's it gonna be?
I know.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Guys, congratulations. Does everybody want to shift forward now? No?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. We're going to move on to committee reports. I just have a few things that I want to mention in the beginning before we start. I do want to start by congratulating Patrick Comerford on his achievements of Eagle Scout. Patrick's Eagle Scout ceremony was a sight to be seen with all of his friends and his family. I want to congratulate his parents, his mother and father, Mary and Barry Comerford. It's a wonderful achievement to have your son become an Eagle Scout. Patrick's Eagle Scout project, as you heard, was a shed that he built for the street hockey program, which will be here for decades to come and will continue to help the hockey program. It's truly inspiring to be part of an Eagle Scout team. Cub Scout Pack 194 has their community kindness snake, Hoppy, located in Modoc Park, and you can add your positive message to Hoppy the snake. We're hoping to have a very long chain of positive messages on the snake. Thank you for all that you did in your hard work. Their Cub Master, Lisa Stanitz, was behind that. She came in front of the council and presented it last year, but it's up and running and it's beautiful. For the Environmental Commission, I hope that everyone has seen the light up Easter display that's on the back corner here of River Styx and Hopatcong. The Environmental Commission, they've decorated now for Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and now Easter. And we've managed to get all of the materials donated, and the time and the labor has also been donated. It's just a wonderful thing Hopatcong has, and thank you to Jonathan, Lori, and Wayne and the rest of the Environmental Commission. With Environmental, Shred Day is April 26th. The Environmental Commission is also sponsoring, along with the Shred Day on April 26th, the townwide cleanup. The dumpster for the townwide cleanup will be at the DPW parking lot. Shredding will be in the municipal building parking lot. We encourage all residents to drop off their paper in need of shredding on April 26th and to help clean up their community, whether it's a road outside their house, a road they pass on their way to work, a park, a stream. Rolling Mays Eve is always a very good place. And the dumpster is at DPW. You'll see flyers going out in the next week or so. A reminder that the mobile DMV will be in the municipal building parking lot on April 25th. The appointments will become available online March 25th. You'll need an appointment to utilize the services for that day, and we'll be posting the flyer next week once it opens on the 25th. On March 18th, there was a tree that came down, which took out a Verizon telephone pole. The pole that had to be replaced, it was in a difficult location on a curve. Verizon had an initial crew that came out to replace the pole, and then because they timed out, they needed to have a second crew come to finish after that. JCP&L could only repair after the pole had been replaced. It was also rebuilding the top of what's on the telephone pole and installing a new transformer. The outage affected around 609 people. The borough opened a warming center at Firehouse number 3, which unfortunately no one utilized that day. Power was restored Tuesday evening to all customers except for 10 customers whose power was restored this morning at 6:23 a.m. We appreciate everyone's patience and understanding when there are power outages. We do live in a rural community. We do have trees. We don't have any underground power lines. Unfortunately, we're going to lose our power. JCP&L responded immediately in waiting for Verizon to replace the pole. I know that this did not happen as quickly as everybody would have liked the repair to have happened, but there are sometimes unforeseen circumstances that we just cannot control. Everyone did utilize the streaming services that JCP&L had, from what I understand, speaking to residents. Many of them were not aware that they could actually go online to JCP&L's site, put in their account, and be able to get individual information about their individual home. So that's something that we're going to try to get that message out so people can be informed a little bit better, residents can be a little bit better. When we do open the warming centers, we open them if you need to come there to sit for work, if you need to have it as a cooling center in the summer, we open those, and those are manned by volunteers. So if you do need to utilize them, please just do that. I did have a Route 80 update, but at this point, I think that's moot. Because there's another new sinkhole, if you haven't heard about that, and we'll have to move that along. As they do their repairs, I'm sure all of what they've given to us is now not necessarily going to be happening. So our Memorial Day celebration this year will be on Saturday, March 24th. We're doing a ceremony that will be at Vets Field with more information to come shortly. This year, we are just having the Memorial Day ceremony and not the parade. We do have our second annual Flag Day celebration. We are partnering again with the Lake Hopatcong Elks. They're located in Mount Arlington. If you're aware, their most recent successful event that they had was the Lake Hopatcong Elks, the Leap in the Lake, where they raised over $125,000 for children and children with special needs. Since becoming mayor, this has been a wonderful partnership that we've been able to foster with the Lake Hopatcong Elks. They've helped Hopatcong in many avenues with sponsorships, partnering, helping and supporting our children, our food banks, and families in need. Our annual Flag Day Parade and celebration will be on June 14th. It will be later in the afternoon this year. We know that. The time is yet to be determined. We know we have an event planned for afterwards, which we're calling it a parade and a celebration. That's going to have food trucks, vendors, the band Who's Johnny is booked already, a car show. There's going to be a children's free activity area. We have a beer garden sponsored by our fire department, and we've secured sponsorships for fireworks for the night. Hoping that everybody will attend, and we'll have even more information as that comes about. For those of you that are following the affordable housing, we have a weekly Zoom meeting with the towns involved for continuous updates. As you know, more than 150 New Jersey towns say a prominent builders association has no business telling them how much affordable housing is to be developed. Attorneys for the municipalities are asking judges to dismiss a wide-ranging lawsuit, which is filed by the New Jersey's Builder Association. Last month, it was 158 towns. They argue that the towns must go beyond what their local officials say is possible and commit to building more affordable housing. The Builders Association's legal action came after town officials asked the state to lower their affordable housing obligations under the Mount Laurel Doctrine, established in a series of state Supreme Court decisions that date back to the 70s. And that requires each municipality to contribute its fair share on affordable housing. At this point in time, Hopatcong has filed its paperwork on time and are challenging the affordable housing numbers. We've also filed a letter subsequently asking that the request from the New Jersey Builders Association be denied because it misrepresents the requirements of the Fair Housing Act. Basically, Hopatcong is in compliance in our letters and our responses. As of today, there's been no meeting date set for us. The Lake Hopatcong Commission, the flow at the state park, flow at the state park dam has been reduced to 12 CFS to begin the spring refill. Currently, the outflow is sitting around 14 CFS, and it'll be adjusted to capture more water. True Vine Ice Cream, a business here in town, celebrated a 1-year anniversary. And they had a really nice day. It was nice to celebrate something like that, especially a business that's as nice and as the people who are in there that are that nice. So from the moment that they opened their doors, the owners, Ken and Cecilia Stay Up, have brought warmth, dedication, and unwavering commitment to quality and service. Their unique flavors, attention to detail, and passion for their craft have made True Vine a standout business in Hopatcon. Whether it's their famous birthday cake, ice cream, or their welcoming outdoor seating area that encourages community connection, every aspect of True Vine Ice Cream Shop reflects their devotion to excellence. Their impact goes beyond delicious treats. As a veteran-owned and family-run business, True Vine embodies the spirit of work, perseverance, and community pride. Their presence in the River Styx section has added to the vibrance of our borough, turning their shop into a local destination and a favorite spot for residents of all ages. On behalf of the Borough of Hopatcon, I want to extend our heartfelt congratulations on them reaching this exciting milestone. We look forward to many more years of enjoying their wonderful ice cream, friendly service, and continued success. Happy 1-year anniversary, True Vine Ice Cream Shop, from the Hopatcon Mayor and Council, and thank you for being part of our town. We can't wait to see what the future holds for them. Thank you. Would you like to go first?
I have nothing to report.
Sure.
Yes, from the Recreation Committee, April 5th is the Easter egg hunt at Veterans Field with a rain date of April 6th. Street hockey signups end tonight. You could do those online. I think 82 was the number that we had, which 82 signups, 86,
87.
87,
It's 87. It was a lot. Awesome, yeah.
up to 90 now, which is a lot more than we had last year. So that's great to see. Recreational basketball commenced last Friday, which was sad to see it go. It's been a great season. We've been going since November. We had a year-end tournament at the high school. Parents played their kids. Jen and Rachel came to support and see all the fun. So
Got taken out. It's dangerous in there.
yeah, that competitive nature really starts to, especially when you're going against your own kid. And they're standing in the lane for a layup. There is an online survey that our new recreation superintendent has posted. It's on the town website. Feel free to fill it out. It's a what am I looking for? here?
Google, it's like a Google form,
No, it's a so they don't know who you are.
anonymous.
Thank you. Long day, sorry. It's an anonymous survey, so be as honest and as forthcoming as you please, and add any wish list items on there, because that's really what I think one of the purposes why we went out and hired a rec super to really bring that part of the town back to life. So please feel free to go and fill that out. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Municipal Alliance. I'm gonna keep reporting on the Center for Prevention holding its alcohol awareness contest. The oh no, they were already due. Oh, forget it. Never mind. But our next meeting is Tuesday, May 6th. I know, right? It's really been a long day. The next meeting is Tuesday, May 6th, and volunteers are always needed for the Alliance. Please reach out to Valerie Fiorentino, valrose@optimum.net. For school, as a result of unused snow days this year, the kids will be getting a give back day back on Monday, April 21st. If there are no further snow closures, the remaining give back day will be May 23rd. The school is sponsoring a puzzle tournament to benefit the class of 2025. It's April 23rd at the high school cafeteria. There are 300 and 500 piece competitions, teams of up to 5 people, and it's $25 a team, and then $20 if you want pizza, which includes a pie, water, and a snack. Mary Burns, who's the biology teacher at the high school, she is the contact for that. mburns@hopatconschools.net. org. Kindergarten registration information can be submitted to Durbin Ave by March 31st. Last meeting, I had forgot to mention that our esports team won a state title, so that is amazing. Our high school PTSO and the class of 2028 are hosting a Tricky Tray on Saturday, March 22nd. Doors open at 1, calling starts at 4. From the Board of Ed, President Nicole Falcone Schubert. The tentative 2025-26 school budget was approved at last night's Board of Ed meeting. The local tax levy will increase by a total of 3.62%, composed of a 2% increase and a 1.62% banked cap. This budget includes paying down the referendum bonds that were previously voted on. The state of New Jersey still owes Hopatcong $580,000 in state aid according to its own formula. However, it is unclear when and if we will see these funds. Sussex County Superintendents met last week to discuss the state aid discrepancy totaling $8.5 million in owed aid to the entire county. There have been continuing discussions at the legislative level, and the last time there was an alteration in the state aid, it took about 3 months to sort out. So this is not going to be sorted out anytime soon. The next Board of Ed meeting with the final budget vote will be held on Monday, April 28th at 7 p.m. in the Administration Building. Community Center, the Center for Prevention, on April 2nd and April 16th from 3 to 7 p.m. The Journey Bus will be there on April 2nd and April 16th. That's wrong. The Journey Bus, forget the Center for Prevention. I got those dates wrong. The Journey Bus is April 2nd and April 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's an addiction recovery drop-in, which is the second and fourth Thursday of the month, of every month from 3 to 7 p.m. And for April, they're April 10th and April 24th. The All Cancer Support Group meets the second Tuesday of every month from 7 to 8:30. The April date is the 8th. Please RSVP to Dana, I'm going to kill her last name, Gianfrancesco at DANAGIAN333@gmail.com. There's also an electronics recycling day on Saturday, April 12th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at SCUMA in Lafayette. The center continues to have items for babies and animals available to all residents, and it's open Monday through Friday from 9 to 1. The Water Sewer Committee met on Friday, March 7th. Pat was very informative, gave us a lot of information. The Water Department has responded to 22 total digs, 8 curb box replacements, 8 service line replacements or repairs, and 6 water main leaks just in 2025. Pat is aware of the issues on Cornell Way, and he is actively looking for a solution. Regarding PFAS, all 7 municipal wells have the GAC units installed, as well as being operational. All the units are heat traced and insulated. The public notice may still be required to be sent out only because they run that on a yearly average. So when you take the averages from last year and include the zeros from this year, the average may still trigger a public notice, but don't be concerned because our numbers are at 0. On the sewer side, there are 282 grinder pumps that still fall under the borough's responsibility, and the lift stations continue to be maintained. I also wanted to give a very heartfelt congratulations to our Eagle Scout, Patrick, who has been an absolute wonderful role model for Troop 88. My sons are both in Troop 88, and they came from Pack 88. And I wanted to wish congratulations also to the Arrow of Lights as they continue their journey into Boy Scouts. And to all of their parents, congratulations as well. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Christine?
The senior center, went and talked to Max over there and brought to him a donation from Bachniak family of 30 jigsaw puzzles for the seniors. So if you want to go over there and hang out, that's what you can do. And Hometown Heroes, we have 1 or 2 polls available. Pat is working on telling me exactly where they are. And we're changing all the info on the website. So if you know anyone, there isn't a lot of opportunity, but we may be able to start doing both sides of polls in the future. So we have that available to us. And that's all I have. Oh, the real estate committee, we are getting ready to auction some properties in the next few weeks. We have the beginning of the ordinance here. So you'll hear about that more as we go forward.
Thank you.
That's it.
Steve?
I don't have much of the report, but I don't want to go past, thanking Eagle Scout Patrick for his accomplishment. Because I never was an Eagle, but I seen what they've done over the years, and that's a lot of dedication, a lot of work from the individuals and the family and the whole pack. And then obviously the Arrow of Light, so congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
Rachel?
I just want to start out also by congratulating all the recipients of the proclamations this evening. I want to thank the first responders for their help with the down tree, the wires. I know the power outage was a big inconvenience. I also want to thank our OEM team. Our OEM coordinator is with us tonight, Wade. Thank you for the real-time updates from the page. I know the residents really appreciated it. And we can only put out the information that we have. So it's nice to see that information coming out as quickly as it was. Jumping into the fire department, nothing to report from Chief Crowley for tonight. EMS, they did share some fun facts on their website. I recommend you go take a look if you have time, just stating how they started in 1946, and you can go and see the transformation of what they were back then to what they are today. So far for 2025, they just crossed over 200 calls. And since they started their electronic charting, they've done over 14,000, which is, I know, insane. Police department, as the mayor had mentioned, they shared earlier that the most recent, we'll say, update on Route 80, with the new road closures that have taken place, all traffic is being diverted to Route 15 North. Just praying for everybody's safety during that time. I don't want to imagine what it's like, but it's probably very scary being there and seeing that happen around you. Jumping over to, actually really quick, Jen, on schools, I do just want to clarify, the council and the Board of Education are two separate bodies. Their budget is the school budget. It is not our budget. We don't vote on it. We don't opine on it. I know there's sometimes it's confusion, but we are two separate entities. So anything with the budget for the school is done through the school. The Drama Club is performing The Lightning Thief, a Percy Jackson musical, May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You can purchase tickets on their website. Going into the Hopakon Warriors, April 25th is signing day. It is one of their favorite days of the year. They look forward to returning warriors and new warriors. So Friday, April 25th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the high school gym. You can go for in-person registration, meet the coaches, take your signing day pictures. They're going to have apparel and refreshments for sale and a ton of activities for the kids. Hopakon Hawk Soccer. Spring recreation signups are open. You can visit hopakonsoccer.org for information on that. The Lake Hopakon Foundation is sharing that each spring, the Musconetcong Watershed Association organizes a huge cleanup along the river, and they're very excited to once again help out at the Hopakon State Park. So that is going to be Saturday, April 12th at 9 a.m. This is a great volunteer opportunity for individuals, families, and scout troops. Cleanup efforts will be happening all along the Musconetcong from Lake Hopakon to the Delaware River. So if Hopakon State Park isn't convenient for you, you can check out other locations where you can assist. Once the cleanup is completed, everybody is invited to a free barbecue cookout at the MWA's River Resource Center in Asbury, New Jersey, as a thank you for everybody's time. And just want to share some events coming up. March 29th, the Lake Hopakon Elks are actually hosting a Texas Hold'em tournament at 7 p.m. March 29th here in town, also same day, J&J Vendors is holding their spring shopping extravaganza at St. Jude's from 10 to 4. April 23rd at the Elks Lodge in Mount Arlington, they are hosting a sip and paint, and spots are limited. So if you're interested, please check their website out. I believe it's lakehopakonelks.com. April 27th from 9 to 11, they're doing a Sunday breakfast with bubbly and a bloody bar with live music.
When's that?
April 27th from 9 to 11. The bubbly and bloody is additional cost, but tickets are at the door. It's very, very cost friendly, which is nice. They do a lot for the communities. And the block party is May 17th. So, and then I believe I missed one thing from the police department. Yes, I'm sorry. So our police department is also hiring for entry-level position officers. Anybody interested, applicants can apply via the police app link. And then that was it. And before we continued, Mayor, I did have two questions. For this evening, is it possible that we just push the bills list to after resolutions? Because we do have a bill on the bills list that is tied to one of those resolutions.
Sure. Is everybody comfortable with that?
Works for me.
Okay. And my second question is, aside from the meetings that you guys have with JCP&L, we've gotten a lot of requests from residents if there's an ability to have like a town hall with JCP&L where residents can ask questions directly, and maybe just take out some anger that they have, to be completely honest. I mean, there's nothing that we can do, but it is a common request that we get. So I just wanted to pass it along.
Yeah, I'll reach out and I'll see what they say.
Thank you.
Yeah, my husband might talk to them. We've had 4 power outages. Yeah, it's been crazy.
You're looking for a town hall meeting? Or
Yeah,
you
no,
just happen
you're
to
right.
come to a meeting?
No, like residents want like a town hall where they can come up, ask questions and not,
Pitchforks and things like
That's
that.
right.
right, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've also been asked about lawsuits and like, doing that stuff too.
Yes, yes. Oh, and May 10th is the charity hike at Hudson Farms.
Hudson Farm.
Yep, and that's it.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Moving on to public comment, can I have a motion
Make a
to
motion, to open the public.
to the
Second.
public?
Can you let her finish?
She was gonna finish.
You have a
Was
motion
there a
in a
second?
second.
Yeah, I think Christine,
Yeah, I
yeah,
did.
Christine seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is open to the public for anything and everything that is on the agenda and off the agenda.
Heather Stump. I'm gonna read this because it's very long. As a longstanding and active member of our community, I've participated in numerous meetings and consistently advocated for the betterment of Paccon. I'm addressing the council tonight regarding a personal matter that has significant implications for our community's processes and governance. At the recent council meeting, a veteran exemption for my husband, a retired major with 30 years of distinguished service, was unexpectedly tabled. This decision was partially disheartening, given my husband's extensive military career, including service in Afghanistan, ROTC, instruction at the University of Rhode Island, and various intelligence roles. His dedication to our country is unquestionable, as evidenced by his VA service rating in retirement as a major. The mayor's request to table this resolution, which was originally slated for a February meeting, as I was told, raises several concerns. Procedural irregularities. The mayor's unilateral decision to request a policy change at the 11th hour without prior council discussion is inconsistent with our town's form of government. Policy changes should be deliberated with the council for future implementation, not applied retroactively to applications in their final stages. This is applicable to not only this type of request, but should be uniform throughout. We do not want to have this current mayor set a bad precedent for the next mayor. Lack of precedence. 3 similar exemptions were approved in January without additional requirements, along with several others for many years. This sudden change in procedure is both puzzling and concerning. Inconsistency with surrounding municipality practices. Research into surrounding Sussex County municipalities, every municipal town in our county, and other towns in the surrounding area where others that our attorney is actually worked at or is working at, reveals no similar additional sign-off requirements. This raises the question about the necessity and timing of this change. Potential conflict of interest. Given my past vocal criticism of our town attorney, I'm concerned this may be perceived as a personal response rather than a necessary procedural change. While my family situation is one aspect of this issue, the broader implications for our town's governance are a major concern. Council decisions can profoundly impact residents, and hasty policy changes without thorough consideration can lead to unintended consequences. Furthermore, I've observed a concerning trend in our current administration. There appears to be a misalignment between campaign promises of transparency and accountability and the actual governance practices by Marie Galati. Examples include prioritization of decorating hallways over addressing critical town issues, dismissal of council members' suggestions in public meetings such as the last one, lack of follow-up to residents and inquiries and concerns, questionable decision-making processes such as invoking the town engineer in matters that could have been efficiently handled by the police department without the added cost. In conclusion, I urge the council to, regardless of how this vote goes, I strongly encourage both the mayor and the council to consider future similar requests from the mayor and attorney prior to just jumping on board without actually researching and having the time to evaluate the process. The process to get this particular exemption is very long. It took my husband 2 years. I encourage the mayor to review and clarify the roles and responsibilities with our form of government. Last I checked, this is a council-strong, mayor-weak form of government. And what has been displayed so far shows a mayor who is unable or unwilling, whichever it may be, to work with anyone, which is hurting our town. Improve transparency and communication with residents in your council. Don't drag out agenda items on essential town issues that may or may not go the way that you hope. Learn to prioritize the town's needs. We voted you in for a reason, and while parades and decor are nice, That isn't what we voted you in for. I asked a number of questions regarding campaign promise matters back when your first meeting happened. Attempts to recoup the illegal health benefits that were obtained by our prior mayor, employee raises with no resolutions, $100,000 annually worth of phone lines, and many more that still to this day have gone unanswered. As a concerned citizen, I commit to attending future meetings, whether in person or virtually, to ensure accountability and to advocate for the decisions that positively impact our town. I will continue to ask challenging questions and provide honest feedback as I have done consistently over the years. This is not a threat, but is a promise to continue my civic engagement and a call for accountability. That was a crucial part of the current administration's campaign platform, each and every single one of you. Don't hide behind the phrase, government moves slow. You are the government and you are to blame for nothing getting done. That phrase is unacceptable at the federal level and state level, but even more unacceptable from our local level, when you are very capable of moving things along for a number of items. Remind me again why we still haven't voted out this conflict-ridden attorney, and it's almost April. You're not a leader if nobody wants to follow you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I did. Sit in the front.
Why, it takes me this long to get up. Good evening. A couple of questions as far as the resolutions that are coming up. This always, I was just curious how this works. These tax refunds and the canceled future property taxes. Who is eligible for that?
So the property tax, you're talking about resolution A and B.
Yes,
So those are tax exemptions. Those are military tax exemptions.
I see.
100% disabled veterans.
The authorizing salary adjustment, it's not very transparent. We don't know who's getting it. And
There's
how
a
much it-
resolution.
and how much it is.
There's a resolution in here that has what the amount is, and it's a issue with an employee that had a problem with their salary that we just were able to catch up this year.
Can you tell us how much it is?
Sure. It is $3,007.75, and it goes back to, I think, 2022.
Oh, wow. And E, authorizing an award for professional services, a grant writer.
Yes,
Is this a specific grant that?
it's a grant writer, so every year the borough hires a grant writer to help them achieve grants, whether they're writing the grants or whether they're executing the grants or lobbying for the grants, or once we receive the grant, the work that has to be done afterwards, we have grant writers. So we've utilized a grant writer for decades to help us with this. This is just the award for this, because we went back out for requests for proposals because we only received one.
Right,
So we went back to get a request for proposal to see if there were more grant writers interested in becoming the grant writer here.
I see, and this is a set amount? Where it's?
Yes.
Okay, just a couple other things. I appreciate the fact that they've started work on the skate park. My son's told me that you're working on it. It's very good. Appreciate that. Keeps them off the street. And let's see, they still haven't, this wall, every 2 weeks I come here, every 2 weeks, it's getting more and more, it's gonna fall down one of these days.
Possible.
I would appreciate it if they could get a bottle of stain and just stain this, so it looks responsible. And the other thing is, how's the microphone coming? Because I couldn't hear this lady speaking a few minutes ago. We really need a microphone. And I don't understand why.
We actually have been working on having people come in to give us estimates about working on the speakers and things in here.
Wow, it's really taking a lot of time. We could build a house faster.
Dave, you could also sit in the front row.
Pardon?
There's
You want me
empty
to say-
seats.
Or maybe I could.
He's shy. He's shy. He doesn't make-
Oh, yeah, I'm shy. And the last thing is, what's this with the cable television? Are we going to have another cable television available for us?
No, this is the cable franchise agreement. So every 10 years, there's a cable franchise agreement with Optimum.
I see.
And this is actually the renewal for that cable franchise.
How come it's got all these initials, CSC and PKR? And it's a real mystery, ELS, ELC. Why doesn't it just say Optimum?
Well, because they have other companies, they're not just known as Optimum.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Maltese there.
I think that's, yeah. And the only other question is, which is minor, is with these resolutions, I noticed there's numbers missing, like 57, 59.
We did those at the last meeting. 57 and 59 were at the last meeting.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
You got it,
Dave.
Dave. Anyone else?
Nobody has any problem hearing me. Lynn Ritchie. Do we have a policy and procedure and rule book all put together that like everyone on the council and the mayor could have as their Bible and they could like flip it open and say, okay, we're gonna talk about this, boop, boop, boop. Okay, there's a rule on purchasing, or there's a rule on hiring, or there's a rule on whatever. I know you have a Bible. Do they have that Bible? Because that last meeting, it was pretty clear, at least to me, sitting in the back row. Disengagement for sure. Some knew what the rule was, some didn't know what the rule was. And then here you were, Felix the cat going, I got it. So does everyone have that?
Well, this was created in January 2024. I was not here then. I assumed all the council that was here in 2024 received it, but I sent it to them since
You
last
rock.
meeting.
Before you
Okay.
left the dais.
Yeah,
I mean-
I sent it while we were on the dais.
I'm in corporate America and I have my code of ethics and I have my
And
rules
that's-
and regulations, and this is Bible.
And that's part of, you know, my never-ending list of
I know.
things is creating policies that don't exist, revising old policies to update. So, you know, it's a slow process because there's so much to do, but these are things that I'm actively working on. and
Oh, I don't
distributing to
question for
the
a minute
council.
that you're taking care of this. I just would like everyone to get what you have.
Yeah.
And read it and be aware of what our rules, regulations, and policies are.
Yeah.
So awesome. The cable bill, my favorite, or our contract. So again, we've got our dedicated office and complaint officer in the contract. So I'm wondering, are you gonna get a name of an office that we can go to during the hours of 9 to 5 that specifically says is dedicated to us? And the complaint officer who works in that office, that's gonna be dedicated to the town of Hopatcong. Other than, why is it in the contract if you're not going to ask them for this information? And then is it just for you or is it for the constituents who pay for Optimum? That's my question on my favorite cable contract. I'm glad you brought up, Councilman Smith, the celebration allowance or budget that we have. I guess it's $10,000, did you say?
It was, yeah.
Is the Easter egg money that you spent and approved in the last meeting coming out of that budget? Because that was $800. So that's taking up a good hunk of your $10,000 celebration budget. So I was just wondering where that money was coming from, since they kind of coincided with each other. And lastly, we have a grant writer, but where are we with the attorney searches? Are we still interviewing? And therefore, that's why we're not voting on an attorney tonight? Or has something come up that we're not aware of? Community's not aware of. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Anyone else? Pete?
It was a lovely, lovely thing that you did about True Vine. Unfortunately, True Vine has had to temporarily shut down because of the power outage. He lost a lot of product and he's just saying, please, everybody, be patient. He's working on it. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sharon Lester Hogan. I'm a longtime Hopatcon resident. There's a couple of topics I'd like to address, but I believe in limiting it to one. So tonight I'd just like to talk trash. I heard you mention something about it when you were reciting a few things that were going on about the trash, but I walk a lot and I'm retired, so I'm local a lot. And the trash situation in Hopatcon is very embarrassing. It's out of control. You walk anywhere, I still see Tom Kane Jr. signs on the side of Durban Avenue. I live on Monroe Trail. Every year I pick up 2 13-gallon bags of trash on that road alone. A lot of it is people are uneducated. A lot of it might be people didn't grow up learning to not throw trash on the ground. I think we need a community effort. It's embarrassing. I've heard comments about Hopatcon and their trash on the side of the roads. It's a layer of leaves, a layer of trash, a layer of leaves, a layer of trash. We don't have a leaf pickup truck, I believe. Maybe we could borrow one. I don't even know if it's usable because there's so much trash mixed in with the leaves. Lake Hopatcon Foundation does a trash pickup every year in Roxbury. Roxbury, the gateway to Hopatcon is the plaza still where the old Pathmark used to be. And they always talk about the new businesses they start, and they do the trash pickup in Roxbury. I do volunteer with Lake Hopatcon Foundation. I think they're wonderful. And I'm going to ask them, why can't Hopatcon be included in something with the trash in? Because I never see anything for Hopatcon, yet Hopatcon's one of the lake communities, and we all volunteer, a lot of Hopatcon people, Hopatcon businesses. So to keep it short, I don't know if we need an adopt a road program. I saw all the scouts here tonight. I love it. My son was 88. He's was an Eagle Scout. He's currently a New Jersey State Trooper. My other son is an Arrow of Light. I love the scouts. We used to see a lot of coordination with the scouts and the Girl Scouts and the Cub Scouts and the schools. I don't see that anymore. Maybe we need a banner, something to promote pride in Hopatcon, because I think it's lacking. I'll keep it short. I just think something needs to be done, either a yearly cleanup, promote it, but something. And I think maybe the first start is get in your car and drive around town and look on the sides of the road. You will be mortified to what you see on our town. And I've lived here for, oh God, about 50 years. I've been coming up here for about 65 years, since I was a kid in Hoboken. And I've never seen it this bad. And I don't think it's our fault. I think it's been accumulating over time, but I think we have the ability now to do something about it. And I think we should. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment? Just really quick to that point, you're not the only, so we've had multiple residents reach out, actually another one's with us tonight, who's asked for questions on, keeping our community clean signs. I did connect with our DPW superintendent, so they do have signs from the Adopt a Road program that say like, help keep our community clean. I know at least for Northwood, which is where I reside, we can't put these signs on county roads, so we do have to work with the superintendent. Those are the only signs we have on hand right now. There is an annual cleanup.
I think
April 26th.
Yeah, so that's.
Which is every year.
every year.
That's an every year cleanup.
know about that.
It's through the commission, the foundation?
Through the environmental commission.
It was through the environmental commission.
I don't even know about
Oh,
that.
And all the
Mhm.
scouts would come and they give them clippers and bags, and every year they're
Environmental
up and
commission
down.
has one
Oh,
April
with the-
26th.
One year I was down in Johnny's Marina,
Yeah,
that
but
was through Lake.
They meet here in the morning and they give out, it's troop after troop comes in and they have all these clippers and all these bags and gloves. You know.
Every year,
Yeah.
but you can, you look at we're very pretty rural. People don't store their trash properly. That's part of the problem. Like I said, education is a big part of the problem. I don't understand why, but I think it is. And people, they don't store their trash. The barrels will blow over. The trash is all across the street in the woods and they don't pick it up. I can't relate to that. But
A lot of it's straight up litter that people pick up something at one of the delis, drive in a quarter mile and out it
as they're
goes.
speeding
And
down
every
the road,
day,
they like to see
I
how it
walk by
flies.
one section on Maxim where it's the same drink and the same thing. There's 25 of them there. Every day, someone drives by there and does the exact same thing.
I'm a retired flight attendant. Do you know how many minis I see on the
Yeah.
side of the road?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, and I happen to notice them from.
But we do have to spread the word and people have to learn that, I mean, we're not a third world country anymore. We don't litter.
Oh, we do, because all you have to do is drive around town.
I know, I agree
Okay,
with you.
and then, and to your last point, the leaf vacuum truck, there is an interest in having communications with Stanhope. However, we have not gotten the current BI up to speed on that, just because we want her to kind of get settled and handle the priority items first. Having a leaf vacuum would be a great luxury in town, but it's something that has to also make sense for us. So once she's more settled and has better processes established, that is something on our list that we plan to look into for sure.
We can't afford a leaf truck, but if you could coordinate with another community and use it once every.
We
other
can't
week.
promise anything, but nothing's also impossible. It's just how do we work to get there? So it's on the list.
Anything-
It's on the list.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? Not hearing anything, motion to bring it back.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the approval of minutes, the approval of the March fifth, 2025 regular and executive minutes. I have a motion
A motion.
Second.
and a roll call.
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
We don't have any correspondence this evening. Moving on to resolutions, 2025-55, authorizing a tax refund and cancel future property taxes for block 30803, lot 34.
Motion. Oh,
Second.
no, I can't.
Good motion.
Yes,
you
motion.
abstained.
Yes, motion.
In a second,
Steve seconded.
and the roll call.
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes, and thank you for the added signature.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes, and thank you for their service.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
2025-56, authorizing a tax refund and cancel future property taxes for block 30511, lot 11.
Make a motion?
Second.
And the roll call.
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Abstain.
Mr. Kusivic,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes, and again, thank you for their service.
and Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, resolution 2025-58, authorizing salary adjustment.
Motion.
Second.
And the roll call.
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic,
Thanks.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-60, proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Motion.
Second?
So this is a resolution for Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation, whereas the child abuse and neglect is complex and ongoing problem in our society affecting many children in Sussex County. And whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas child abuse and neglect not only directly harm children, but also increase the likelihood of criminal behavior, substance abuse, health problems, and risky behavior. Whereas the effect of child abuse are felt by communities as a whole and need to be addressed by the entire community. Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnering among families, social services, agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Borough of Hopatcong does proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month and calls upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live. Roll call.
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-61, authorizing an award for professional service grant writer. Bruno and Associates is who I'm recommending. Bruno and Associates going through the RFPs for 2025. Charges $125 an hour versus $150 an hour. There is no monthly stipend. They will do in-person site visits. They report, manage, and administrate after the award. Some grants that we receive through our engineer and our administrator, but they still need to be executed afterwards. We can always evaluate the effectiveness of Bruno and Associates towards the end of 2025, moving into 2026. But I would like to give them the opportunity instead of Millennium.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
And Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-59, the bill list.
I'm sorry, does anybody have anything? I have Steve Sifol.
Yeah.
Um,
Want to make a motion first? and Vote on it.
so,
We'll pull it.
yeah, motion, sorry.
Move
It's
it,
been a long day.
move it.
Is there a second?
Yeah, Joe's a second.
Okay.
Do I have any other issues other than these?
No, are you pulling any?
Yes.
Well, you want them to give the
Yeah.
numbers out?
So, PO 25-00139. 25-00555. 25-00570. 25-00571.
Those are the ones that Steve is abstaining on.
Those are the ones that we're both abstaining on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Very confusing.
Okay,
We're
and the
good.
roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
And Ms. Smith.
Yes.
So can I get a motion to move these 4 bills?
Move it.
Second.
And the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Abstain?
Mr. Kuzic.
Abstain?
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
And Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to introduction of ordinances, 1-2025, auction of property conforming. An ordinance of the Borough of Hopatcong, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of certain property owned by the borough and not required for public purposes, more commonly known as block 70107, lots 6, 11, and 12.
Motion?
Second.
And the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2-2025, auction of property non-conforming. An ordinance of the Borough of Hopatcong, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of certain non-conforming property owned by the borough and not required for public purposes, more commonly known as 1 Toledo Court and 124 Jefferson Trail.
A motion?
Second.
And the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. You all received the correspondence in reference to ordinance 3-2025 from Mr. Haggerty in reference to removing the Cablevision contract from the agenda and moving it to the April 2nd meeting. He was in hopes of having 100% of it completed by the end of today, and that did not take place.
Motion.
So he would like to discuss that in executive session on April 2nd also, allowing us to put it on the agenda for April 2nd.
Motion to table?
Second.
Second, just a quick question. Why is what the land use attorney working on this?
Yeah, because my firm has done litigation work for Cablevision. We don't
Oh.
do any we don't do any municipal approvals or anything, but because it's the same company.
Yeah, I was
we
just
had-
confused.
we
I
had-
saw it in an email. I was like,
Go
was
ahead.
that supposed to say that?
Roll call.
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Here. We have no final hearings, old business.
No, no.
Not hearing any old business. Moving on to new business.
I have a couple things in new business. So it's been requested from, of me to form a personnel committee, a personnel council committee that would be personnel and negotiations. We have quite a few contracts coming up this summer. And I wanted to make a motion to form a personnel negotiations committee that would entail Shelby Snow, myself, Anthony Bongiovanni, and Joe Falcone.
Motion.
Second.
Well, before we do anything, I'd like to just wait for John to come back. Because I just have a few questions about what we can and cannot do, that's all.
I literally missed that he walked out of the room.
Is he coming
I
back?
don't know how I missed that.
He went right behind you.
Oh, okay. We have a question for you.
So I'm sorry, that was Shelby.
So
Joe.
I just, it was requested that we start a personnel council committee, made up of Shelby Snow, myself, Anthony Bongiovanni, and Joe Falcone.
And I said I just wanted to wait till you got back in
Oh.
here so we could discuss committees and what that would be and how that actually works with personnel and negotiation and things.
Sure. So, where to start? So you can form a committee, okay? Because the statute specifically says that the council is permitted to organize itself in committees. So, I think the only question, that would come up is exactly what the committee's goals and responsibilities would be.
Okay.
So, and so, I'm aware that in the reorganization meeting, there was, I don't know whether it was disagreement or lack of agreement on council committees. But typically, it's pretty important, especially in this form of government, that there be some agreement between the council and the administration on what the committees will do. Because if you form a committee, as I said, you can absolutely form a committee. But for example, if you form a committee that is specifically designed to do something that's a council function, then there's no issue, right? Employee handbook might be one of them. Modifying ordinances might be one of them. But if you want to form a personnel committee and you want to participate in reviews or the hiring process or something like that, it's good.
So this was requested from the administration for us to form this committee.
I have a question. Is it to give her more help or is it to give input or is it to control, what's the goal? What's the goal? I mean, do you need,
My thought process on this is it would be like a think tank to help me with the personnel manual that we have due this, by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Negotiations are coming up. Now, there's things that with personnel that can't be discussed. So,
Of course.
those things are off the table, but I essentially see it as like a think tank to work with the council to move forward in these areas.
Is it mostly contracts for professionals that we get or like?
No,
grant writing?
we have the unions, contracts are all up for negotiation this
Okay,
year.
okay.
And, again, even with that, there will be things that, can be discussed and can't be discussed. So, I'm doing this by myself. I don't have HR. So to have like a think tank with, Anthony works in management, to have just some help in that area
Sounds good.
for that reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
This came up rather quickly. I certainly personally would like a little bit more time to do a little bit of homework. I really want to make sure that before we do this, we establish the roles, the responsibilities, and the goals we're trying to meet, right? I think that's important. So I don't want to, for myself personally, I think we could use a little bit more time to kind of lay this out in terms of what it is that we're looking to achieve and accomplish. I think there hasn't been a lot of time. It's been, very quick conversation that I've had with people. And I think that something like this, a committee like this is worthy of putting a little bit more time and effort into it to make sure that we are well organized in terms of what it is that we're looking to achieve. I think that part is important. So.
And the parameters probably too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we've got some work to do there, and I think that, maybe we table this until the next meeting so that we can all get aligned in terms of what we're trying to accomplish.
We can form it. It doesn't have to meet and do anything though, but can we form it with its members and then that committee along with the administration
I don't
would?
see any reason to form it until we know what it is that we're trying to do. Okay, I think that, certainly I want to be able to help Shelby, and we all do, want to be able to help Shelby in any way that we can, because I think it's great for the town, it's better for the town. But I certainly would like to put some thought into it. I certainly would like to have, some discussion regarding the goals that we want to set.
So I think Anthony is making a motion to table it, right? We could certainly see if that motion passes, but I think Jen would.
You don't have anything on the agenda, so until there's a motion,
There was a motion in a
Oh.
second.
Yeah,
there you go.
and then you
Wait
walk
for one
down,
second.
we have to wait for you to
I'm
come back.
Yeah,
1 second.
we'll give you the pass. It's been a long day. We get it.
We can either table it or vote on it
Correct.
and then obviously not have, I think in the air, it's the four of us, right? But that could also change. We don't have to vote on who's going to be on that committee right now, right? We're just voting for the committee to create that.
You want me to vote for, we can do that. Can we do that?
Well, I make a motion, we table it and do some thought processing till the next meeting, and
Right.
then if we
So
want.
let's
You have a
vote
motion.
down our
Second.
motion and second, and let's vote.
Yeah, I think to help us save time in future, like these conversations should be had with our council president. If there's conversations happening, let's not do it on the day, so we look a little bit more unified and organized in what we're doing. So all right, so we have a motion second.
Yeah, motion
Yeah.
to table it until, at least until the next meeting at this.
Who seconded?
Steve?
Steve.
The seconded the motion to table.
No.
No,
Steve seconded
the
the
original,
motion.
so we'll
I made the
just
original
knock it down.
motion, he seconded it for the creation of. So
Yeah.
now we need a motion and second to table.
No,
Right.
But we have to go through this vote first,
Mhm.
and then,
No, because I
No,
thought the
no,
last
so if-
meeting,
So,
Correct.
right, if somebody makes a motion to table and it gets a second, then the table motion gets voted on
Supersedes.
first.
Okay.
So there's a table motion, but there's no second so far.
I think Christine, did you second?
I did the motion.
I'll second it, okay.
Okay,
What are we
Of course
voting on?
the table.
Table,
committee.
you're essentially tabling the decision to form the committee.
But you're still gonna talk about it. We're still gonna you're gonna look into it. You're gonna you can have a meeting. It's not a quorum.
Do you vote on the table? I'm sorry, we're voting on the table, correct?
The voting on the
Yes.
table has
So
to occur.
Right, and do notes, do thought process.
Because under Robert's rules, a tabling motion supersedes
Got it.
the previous.
yeah, that happened at the last
You didn't
meeting
know
too.
that.
Yeah,
No, I thought you would vote and then vote.
In the roll call? Mr. Bon Giovanni,
Everybody.
Yeah,
You're
Mr.
voting.
Falcone,
No,
Ms. Johnson,
No.
Mr. Kukovic,
yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
No,
uh-oh.
and Ms. Smith.
yes.
The mayor doesn't often vote in Hopatcon, but
Now
I
he
vote,
does.
the mayor votes.
So we'll vote to table it to the next meeting.
so that's a yes vote.
Yes.
The other thing that it's also been requested is that we add the administrator's report back to the agenda. I forgot today, Shelby, and I apologize. But I get so wrapped up in the meeting that I forget to ask for the administrator's report, and I don't like interrupting you during when you're moving through. So I just wanted to know if the administrator's report could go formally back on the agenda.
So are you requesting a motion to be made for that?
Well, can we discuss it or?
Well, you have to have a motion and a second to discuss it.
Do we have to have a motion and a second to discuss it?
We can add the administrator's report to the agenda.
Oh, okay.
It was there before.
Then we're done.
Okay.
We're done. And then the last question I had is a couple of times we heard from the public about formalizing the attorney. And I was just wondering if, I know I had talked to you last week about it. I was wondering if there was a timeline for that for you.
Yes, when I spoke with you the other day, I mentioned to you that I was waiting for Anthony, who was away, to come back. So we could not put it on the agenda because I couldn't speak to him until after the agenda was already formalized.
Right.
So we will be looking to have that conversation and that agenda for April.
Thank you. That's it.
Is that both?
Oh,
Municipal?
both labor and municipal?
Yeah.
Yes, because it can't be on the agenda today.
Oh, well, no, I meant for both of them in April.
She wanted to know if they're both gonna be on the
both gonna-
agenda.
If that's the. plan.
Yes, they both would be,
Okay.
yes. It's the only outstanding issue for professionals.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, I have one thing for new business. I want to take a moment to address the process by which an ordinance has been circulated amongst the council. While I understand that individual council members may have ideas for changes, it's important that we follow proper procedure and ensure that all members have the opportunity to provide input before revisions are made and added to the agenda. Making changes to an ordinance at the request of one council member as a favor to someone without discussion among the full council is not the right way to proceed. We owe it to the public and to each other to maintain transparency and fairness in our decision-making. Moving forward, I'd like to encourage us all to work collaboratively and ensure that any proposed changes are brought before the administrator and the mayor and the full council for discussion before they are added to any agendas moving forward.
Are we discussing that?
Sure, if you'd like to.
Great. So I requested that change to the ordinance. I also reached out to you this morning and said, I notified you that I requested this change. I did follow the process. I went to our attorney who informed me of the process. I consulted with my council members. We all were I'm not gonna say in agreement, but everybody kind of understood the backstory. So I followed the process. So to sit here and say that I am doing a personal favor, this is for a resident whom I have no relationship with. And it is something that I feel is needed, quite frankly. So I take your comments offensively, disappointing. And I feel like if you would like to have a conversation, as I offered to you this morning, you have my phone number. So per our attorney, I followed our process. So where in this process did I go wrong?
Would you like to answer that?
Well, it's great.
What do you got, hot sauce?
So let me tell you something from the attorney's point of view. Throughout the whole time that I've represented Hopatcong, any council person that ever comes to me and wants advice or wants help drafting something, I'll always do it. It's not my place to say that's a good idea or a bad idea. It's my place to assist any council member with if they're drafting something or an ordinance or so forth. Sort of separate question, it's a separate question from what the mayor is suggesting. The mayor is suggesting that if people have ideas for new ordinances, that they be discussed at a council meeting. That's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide as far as your procedure. Regardless, until the council makes some uniform procedure, if somebody calls me and wants help drafting an ordinance change or drafting something, a resolution or something that's going to come before the council, I'm going to continue to do it because, again, not my place to say yes or no, or that's a good idea or a bad idea. But the mayor's point is slightly different, which is the suggestion that that changes be discussed at the council.
Right. So in order-
That's up to you all.
Oh, right. So in order for that to happen, it needs to be on the agenda for us to be together as a collective body to have a discussion. So in order to do that, the agenda has to then, or the ordinance, I'm sorry, has to be put on an agenda to be discussed in public, correct? Hold on, Jen.
So, sure.
Right.
You could list something that's, sometimes you see things listed as discussion items, sometimes they're
Right.
brought up as new business, sometimes they come up as an introduction.
Mhm.
Again, the procedure of that is up to you guys. I would encourage you, though, be careful about, among yourselves talking about, support for an ordinance in advance. I know council people talk, but, two people talking doesn't violate the Open Public Meetings Act. 3 people don't, but if you talk to one, and you get to 4, then you're sort of, getting in some gray area. So, the procedure about how you get things on the agenda and whether it's a discussion or an introduction,
Mhm.
that's completely up to you. So it's sort of, there's 2 questions here.
Right.
Just so I'm super clear.
Mhm.
The procedure for getting some work product out of me is call me, right?
Right.
So, because, I'm never gonna deny any of the council people, the ability to move something forward. But the discussion for all of you is, if you're happy with things popping up, a council person getting an ordinance change and it popping up on the agenda, then there's nothing to do.
Right.
If you think that there's, more structure needed, then that's a discussion. you can
I
have.
think some things do tend to pop up. It's a little bit, I think we could do a little better job with the discussion that we have regarding it so that we're.
All right, but my clarity is for this specific instance, which our mayor has an issue with. Per our attorney, I specifically asked in the email, what are next steps? And I was told, if you are good with this, I will forward it to the clerk. And he did. And our clerk circulated it to the council and said, this is to be reviewed, for consideration for a future agenda. Not that it has to be put on the agenda. So those processes, as advised by our attorney, were followed. So to sit here and accuse me of doing something incorrectly is ridiculous.
The only problem with it, Rachel, is you just said that you talked to all the council about it beforehand.
Individually, and I messaged the same
But
message
that
I sent to
discussion
you.
Should happen here. You shouldn't have a discussion with the whole council about putting an ordinance on the agenda without it being here.
Mayor, the same message I sent to you this morning is.
And I didn't respond because I'm not going to talk about it.
You did
outside of
respond.
me. I said, okay.
That is a response. However, I sent the same message. There was an instance, a resident had an issue. So I went to our council president for guidance. I had a conversation with another council person about it for context. I went to our administrator about it in terms of how the ordinance is read, whether or not we're in violation, so on and so forth. Because of those instances, I felt that there was an amendment needed to a current ordinance. I will ask, I'm going to end the conversation here because we can continue going on in circles. I have reached out for you. Please call me so this is not done on the day at future meetings.
We need to have the conversations about the ordinance and the ordinance change on the days. The ordinance
When
change,
it's
there's
on the
nothing.
agenda. How do we
Let-
discuss something that's
let
not on the
me-
agenda?
Again,
business.
let me,
yeah,
let
I
me
think new
finish, let me
business.
finish what I'm saying. If you want an ordinance change for whatever it is, there is nothing wrong with reaching out and saying, hey, I'd like to put this on the agenda for discussion, and it ends up on the agenda for discussion, so we can discuss it here.
That's what our clerk did.
That's not what happened. The agenda was discussed between council members. The ordinance was discussed between council members before it got here, and you just said that. All I'm saying is I'm not comfortable with everybody having a conversation about something before it gets here.
Aren't
It
you doing
needs to
that
be
with our
here.
attorney?
Listen, we could argue about this all day. I think that we need clarification on the process, on a definitive process on how this ends up. Does it get introduced in new business? And I think that I don't even know who would work on that. Shelby? Marie? I'm not 100% for
Again,
Shelby.
if there's
I know.
something that the council wants to put on the agenda, there's nothing wrong with sending it to myself to put it on the agenda. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't mind having an open discussion about the ordinance that's in question and the change that needs to be made, whatever the ordinance
So even
is.
if it came up under new business, it wasn't formally on the agenda, it came up under new business, that would be sufficient.
No, because the public has the right to respond to it too. If you have something that's on the agenda that you're gonna discuss, you're changing the town's law. You're changing the town's law for whatever the reason is. You have whatever the ordinance is and you wanna change it. It should be brought in front of the public to discuss in front of the public that you wanna do that, because there might be 50 people that show up and say, we're not in favor of what that is. But they don't know about it because it hasn't been discussed here. Collaboratively, we would then say, hey, John, we'd like to change the ordinance. This is what the end result is. And then we change the ordinance.
Well,
It's very simplistic.
Yeah, Mayor, you're completely right that in something coming up under new business generally would not become an introduction. But,
Right.
but the topic could be mentioned under new business.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
Which would then
Which would
That
trigger,
would let the
Trigger
problem-
something on the
okay,
future
Okay,
agenda.
all right, I'm just clarifying, okay,
which would trigger the process.
all right, let's then,
As opposed to an ordinance that's circulating that says, hey, everybody should look at this. It should be spoken of here, so everybody gets a chance to talk about it, whether it's the mayor and council, whether it's whatever. Again, you're changing an ordinance that affects land use. This has to go to zoning. This has to go to zoning, it has to go to the engineer, it has to have other input coming back and forth before we can even talk about it in general.
okay, so then it would be a good idea if maybe we talked about it at the next meeting.
Yes, it'd be a great idea.
Okay, perfect, let's do that
It'd be a
then.
great idea.
Let's talk about it at the
Purpose
next meeting.
To have a discussion in public, yes.
Great.
It would be a great idea.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, please.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Oh, shoot.
No, we have public comment.
Oh, crap. Sorry, guys.
Jen, go home and get some sleep.
I really, guys.
Have a motion to go
I'm done.
open
Motion.
and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk. Sam Morris, Mine Hill. Formation of a personnel committee is a disaster. You're gonna get sued, you're gonna violate rice laws. You're just gonna do it. Mine Hill has one made of two people because I'm the mayor and the administrator. And they have to get permission from Tony Bucco to even meet or have a discussion. You have the GIF. Has the GIF rewritten your personnel manual in the last 5 years?
They're going to this year.
Okay, so you guys, your personnel manual is your Bible. The only thing you even get to decide in your personnel manual is like, John, help me out, days off.
Yeah.
What you do when there's fog or
Yeah, employee
snow.
benefits and so forth.
You have almost no say in your personnel manual. The GIF, state law, state legal precedent, federal law sets all that stuff. Were you got, any of you guys aware that nepotism is completely legal?
Yeah.
No, it is, but under federal, there was a federal case that said, in Mine Hill, I've never hired him, I can hire my son, excluding him is, I'm basically, what do you call it, discriminating against him. If, you want to hire your kid, you're discriminating. So I'm just telling you, it's not gonna end well. You have the GIF to do all your work. You guys can all discuss publicly policies. You can all discuss them here. Hey, what do we want to do about days off? But forming a committee to start, you're gonna talk about a current employee and you're gonna end up in trouble. The only way ours can do it is if an attorney sits in and listens, and it's only 2 council members, so there's no quorum. And it's if someone has a grievance with me, which has been like 3 of them, okay? That's my 2 cents. The ordinance, Rachel, you and I talked about this for the person who has the DOT truck. Making an ordinance for one person is a bad idea.
It's not one person.
You have more than one, okay, how many people would it affect?
I have 4 and I'm gonna
You have 4,
I'm
okay,
gonna
so
keep
you're gonna
getting-
open the floodgates, as soon as you change your gross vehicle weight, number of tires, size of vehicle, you're gonna have a problem.
It's
Because
not
then,
changing any of those
well,
things,
let's see what you end up with, but you're gonna have,
but it's not changing.
look,
any
the
of those
conversation that
things.
came to me was you have one.
Mine Hill. This is
Thanks,
not-
Heather,
this is
I
not
appreciate your input, but I don't appreciate your input.
Oh, neither do we.
So
Ours
if
is
you,
government.
I'm giving you a recommendation.
Where's these 5 minutes?
You're gonna let these people yak and yak and yak.
We just hear.
So
from-
when you start changing things for a small group of people and it goes through zoning, it comes back, you have to treat everybody equally, and usually it's badly. They think it's bad. But when you start making ordinances for 2 or 3 or 4 people by your admission,
Mhm.
you're gonna create a problem. Because everybody's gonna come in and say, I want an exemption. Don't do that. Come up with some other way, they can park in a commercial zone, they can park at somebody's other place, and don't do that. You're asking for trouble. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, and stay away from personnel committee, I'm telling you.
Or 80,
Great.
in your
Yeah,
case.
or we're 80. Anyone else?
I follow you, so I might come to your council meetings next. Sorry, Lynn Ritchie, I forgot to ask a question. You don't answer my questions anyway, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Why did we spend $26,572.06 on the engineer, this billing? What are we calling him in for? DuPont came in and needed a problem with, was it DuPont with the road, speeding on the road? Everyone was up in arms. The gentleman came in and he was all upset and you said, let's get a road study. And you called the police and they did the road study, or I think. A lady came in, God bless her, parking issue on our road. You said, let's get the road study. You ordered the engineer. $26,000 you paid this engineering company. Isn't he paid per hour as a consultant, as a fee? So if the policy is to go to the police department, do a road study, and further evaluation is needed, then you call in the engineer. I'm coming back my next life as the Borough of Hopatcong's engineer.
Thanks, Lynn.
Ridiculous.
Anyone else? Not seeing anything, motion to bring it back?
Move it.
Second?
Only thing left, motion to adjourn?
Move. Good.
I'll make the
I'll
motion.
second.
There we go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Somebody had to do it.